Welcome, one and all, to Pacific Forum 4 episode review, live reaction, and review for A Tale of Two Opas, Two Topas, the fifth episode of the Orville's third season, or known this season as the Orville New Horizons. Let's get underway, shall we? I've already got the episode pulled up, and I'm ready to press play and see where this episode takes us. Huh? And I do apologize ahead of time if I give away any spoilers as I'm watching this or any spoilers in the review section. I'd like to know what that creature's called. Hello again, Kathy Skywalker. Neither have I, especially when it comes to the midnight premiere of the Orville. At least the fifth episode, that is. All right. Okay, so they're walking into this tomb right now. I've done it too, whether it's on my tablet or on my phone. I've had plenty of times where I'm watching something thinking, I can get through this. Not so much. Where's his fedora? Hmm. I wonder if there's any snakes in this chamber. Oh, they definitely found quite a lot of loot. Look at all that treasure. Now we're on a Markland ship. Okay, so we're getting the simulation, and we see Topa. That's not how you win a simulation. Hmm. Yeah, but what about his hand? Laying a few plot threads along. This could be interesting. I mean, this is the first time we get to see Topa since season two. So it's going to be interesting to see where this episode goes. Same here. I know exactly where you're coming from, Kathy. Some nights, no problem. Other nights, I just can't fall asleep right away. Maybe it's because I have too much on my mind. All right, let's see where else this episode goes. Yeah, that would be nice. It would be nice if there was such a feature, you know, a sleep feature for the brain. Unfortunately, the brain's running constantly, and you could fall asleep right away and then wake up because something's on your mind. All right, so Ty and Marcus are going to be in this episode. Yeah, that'd be nice. 3PO or Data. Yeah, I know that. Okay, that's awkward. This is awkward. Yeah, see, that's why I don't ever take Tylenol PM or anything like that because one, I'm drowsy, and I've even had times where it doesn't work with my body chemistry. Always nice to yap it. Hmm. No, it's but it won't. She was always driven. Hmm. Uh, uh, no, go with your gut instinct, Topa. Nope. That look tells you nope. Well, I appreciate you stopping by, Kathy. It's great having folks like yourself stop by and, you know, take in what's being presented, even if it's just for a little bit. Yep. That's a good move, Cap. Interesting. I wonder how this conversation is going to go. Oh, it's just like Phil, crazy Uncle Phil. He's a good guy. You know, we all give him a hard time, but he gives it back. That's what you expect. At least that's what I expect. If I give somebody a hard time, I want them to give it back. Jeez, Clyden. It is. Yes, but Bortus was always against it. Yeah, yeah, that's the whole thing. We kid each other about our likes, about our dislikes, and everything that makes us who we are. Uh huh. Unfortunately, I don't think that's going to work. This is a question you knew would be asked from the moment we saw the episode about a girl. You knew they would address it at some point. Interesting looking species. Topa has questions. Questions about himself. Yeah, yeah. Keep quiet. She's got to tell Ed. Kelly's got to tell Ed. She's got to tell Ed. She has to make sure that Ed tells Bortus and Clyden. They need to be aware of the situation, even if Clyden doesn't want to hear it. I'm not so sure about that. All right. We're following Topa. Hmm. Oh, what's going on here? I think Topa's gonna find out a few things. Jeez. What happened to Malloy? Yep, that's Gordon for you. Wonder what Bortus's reaction is gonna be. We pretty much can guess accurately how Clyden's gonna react. Oh, this go this is gonna go bad. Huh. You're full of crap, Clyden. Have a good night, Kathy. Thank you for stopping by during Pop Talk earlier and during this live reaction to episode 5 of the Orville. Really appreciate it. Sleep well. If anyone's going to be affected by this, other than Tolba, it's going to be Bortus. You tell him, Bortus. This is harder on Bortus than it is on Clyde. Oh, you tell him, Kelly. No. Oh, shit. Oh, that look. Don't mess with her. That's for damn sure. Kelly will kick your ass. She'll knock you on your ass before you even know it. Wow. Okay. Mortis has always cared. Mortis is trying to do what's best for his child. So what's gonna happen next? Shut up, Clyden. You're damn right. Come on, Bordis. Good riddance, then. Do it. Do it, Clyden. It's not needed. Mm-hmm. Oh boy. That's the wise thing to do. Very good. She said slowly. Don't do it, Claire. I don't know, Claire. So now Isaac's thrown his hat into the ring. Oh boy, Ed, you're gonna be in a lot of trouble. Hmm. Bor- Bortus actually singing. I hope we get to see it this time. Please tell me we're gonna actually get to see it this time. He's not gonna get cut off. Up, they're ready to see Bortus. Yeah, folks are ready. Hey, we finally get to see Ty and Marcus. Come on, let's hear it this time. Bortus. Only Bortus would criticize the key of a piano before singing the song. I'll be honest, I'm not familiar with the song that he's singing. And here we go. Oh, this is not gonna go well. That's just my thoughts on it right now. This is not gonna go well. Nope, this isn't gonna go well, especially one scene that we see in the preview. Oh, here they go. Oh, Clyden. I gotta say, everybody's performance in this episode has been top notch. So, what are we gonna get to see here? Topa's happy. But something tells me that Ed and Kelly aren't gonna be too happy. Yep. Clyden. Spill the beans. She's got a point. A very valid point. See you later, Clyden. Bye. No, Clyden's proven that over and over again. You asshole. But then he's always been that way. Excuse me. One second. 1 second. I'm looking something up real quick. Give me a second, and then I'll start the review portion. All right, that's what I thought. All right, so I'm gonna start the review portion, and in case anyone's wondering, I will upload this review portion separately. So give me a second to change a few things, or a few seconds, I should say. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? There it is. Let's get rid of this, and let's add this. And again, I will put this section up separately. So for those of you who don't want to go through the whole live reaction, this will be a separate video. And welcome, one and all, to Pacific Forum 4 episode review. This is the review portion for A Tale of Two Topas, the fifth episode of the Orville's third season, also known as Orville New Horizons. And I've got to say, this was a very good episode. It went back to about a girl. It dealt with the repercussions of what happened, you know, with About a Girl and after About a Girl. And this was A Tale of Two Topas. It was a Topa centric episode. It was an episode where we saw interactions between Clyden and Kelly, Clyden and Boris, and the two different points of view, not just from the Mocklin culture, but the different points of view of Boris and Clyden when it comes to Topa, and also Topa's desire to be who Topa really is. And I do apologize for giving away any spoilers, but this was a solid episode. It had well performed acting by both Adriana Palicki and Chad Coleman, along with Peter Macon. We did get to see Borda sing this episode, but this was all about Topa, all about Topa's desire to be who Topa really was, not who Topa is at the start of the episode, but who Topa really was. And you had a feeling that it would be addressed at some point during the show's run. I wasn't expecting it to be addressed this soon, but this was something you knew that Seth MacFarlane and the producers would at some point address. This was a very good episode. I, I, you know, I'm at a loss for words at some of it, and it's not because of what necessarily did or didn't happen in this episode. It's just one of those episodes where it makes you think. It really does. Just like last week's episode, it made you think. It even had connections to last week's episode as well. It also had connections to season one with, you know, mad ideology. So they're making these connections to previous episodes. Even with these episodes being episodic, they're still making callbacks that are appropriate. I mean, there's a point in this episode where Clyde mentions to the fact that Kelly was viewed as a god at one point and how she probably enjoyed it. And you saw obvious tension between Clyden and Kelly. Clyden, Clyden, let's be honest. How many of us actually like Clyden? Not talking about Chad Coleman. Chad Coleman's doing a great job and has been doing a good job as Clyden since the show started. But how many of us particularly care for Clyden? Not many. But you can also see where Clyden's coming from. You get Clyden's point of view. You get Bortus's point of view, but you also get the point of view of Topa. You get the points of view of the crew, how they look at it from their perspective. But all in all, in this episode, it was about Topa. It was about the repercussions of helping out Topa, what it means for the Union, what it means for, the looming threat of the Kalon, and even Isaac's role in this episode. It already goes back to Electric Sheep because there's a question that Topa asked Isaac about what's it like to be dead. So I've got to say, this was another solid episode of the Orville. I'm definitely going to watch it again. I don't know that I'm going to do another review after I watch it again. I might talk about it on Pop Talk, but this is definitely another episode worth viewing again. This episode, you know, it touches on many points that we've already seen with the Orville and addresses a few current day issues, just like Star Trek used to. Just like last week's episode addressed a few current day issues, but put the story in an allegory form where you knew what they were talking about, but they didn't force you to think one way or another. They still, excuse me, sorry, they still left it up to you. They still left it up to you. And, at the end of this episode, all you've got to know is if you need support, is you'll never walk alone. There will always be some people who won't support you for your decisions. Other people will stand by you for your decisions, as we see in this episode. So, if I'm going to say exactly what I think about this episode right now, it's a very good episode. It's worth watching. It's worth, you know, taking it from all sides, taking what they're presenting from all different sides and trying to put yourself in the other person's shoe. Put yourself in the shoes of Clyde. Put yourself in the shoes of Bortus, Kelly, and Topa, because this was very much a Topa episode. I mean, after all, the title of the episode is A Tale of Two Topas. So, it's one where you can't be too quick to judge. Take what both sides are telling you in this episode and judge it for yourself. The decision made in this episode, is it the correct decision? Is it the incorrect decision? That's for you to decide. Again, this episode addressed something that you knew would be addressed eventually in this series. And I think they did it well. If I'm going to give this episode a rating on my rating scale, well, it's going to definitely be a 4.5 out of 5. Now, over on Nerd Boyle's spoiler filled review of this episode, which I will be a part of or have been a part of by the time you see this portion of the video, I'm going to say it. It's going to be a scale of, 1 through 10, this episode is definitely an 8.5 out of 10. I know that seems a little low compared to my 4.5 out of 5, but since it's a larger scale, I'm gonna give this an 8.5 out of 10. It's still a very good episode. I still highly recommend this episode. I recommend the Orville just like I recommend the Old Man. But you all are going to enjoy this episode, especially if you've been watching the Orville from the beginning. Because again, it does address things that were brought up from season one, and they're being brought up again now. So again, another solid effort by Seth MacFarlane and company. And you know, go watch the Orville. Watch it because it does what Star Trek used to do. It makes you ask the questions. Doesn't force it on you. Just makes you think. That's what Star Trek used to do. Made used to make you think. Now I know there are gonna be some people who may not like this episode, and that's fine. So far, 5 episodes in with 5 more to go, this series is still cooking on all cylinders. It's doing a very good job with its storytelling and connecting different threads from previous episodes and previous seasons. So give this episode a shot. Again, as far as my own rating scale, this is a 4.5 out of 5. And over on Nerf World, I probably already said it by the time you watched it. I'm going to say it again, 8.5 out of 10. So that's my review of this episode. Trying not to give away too many spoilers. If you like the live reaction, give it a thumbs up. If you like the review portion, give it a thumbs up or give it a thumbs down. That's up to you. Share this with your friends. Leave a comment down in the comment section below. I'll go into further detail with this episode over on Nerdporials. I'll try to make sure I link that video in the description later on. But this was a very good episode, and I do want to say one thing. Thank you all for tuning in. Really appreciate it. For those of you who are in the chat during this live portion, I will look at your comments here in a second. And again, thank you for watching both the live reaction and the review portion. I really enjoyed this episode. And once again, if you liked what you saw here, give it a thumbs up. If you didn't like what you saw here, give it a thumbs down. And I will see you later as far as this review portion is concerned. And for those of you who are watching this live, I'm just going to play the outro for Pacific 4 episode review. And stick around, and I will answer any and all questions you may have. All right, so let's see. Yeah, the pupids. Hugs, everyone. Yes, definitely. We do need hugs. I mean, I'll be honest. This was a very good episode. As I said, very good episode. It makes you think. It makes you think. Well, how does this person feel? This person is conflicted because, and I don't mean conflicted in a bad way. I don't want that to be misconstrued. But this person has a gut feeling that they aren't who they seem, and they want answers. They find out the answers, They find out the answers when they're given the information, and their shock and dismay, and the fact that two people that they trust didn't even want to tell them, especially Clyde. It's very powerful. And Phil McCracken says, "Justice for Phil McCracken." Yeah, I know, Phil. I know. Thank you for coming by again, brother. And let's see. Bring down the ivy. Uh, I don't know. I don't know. I'm not even thinking about that right now. I'm thinking about this episode and how much I enjoyed it. Very good episode. Let's see. The Cupids says the writing in this episode is next level. Yes. 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 And I know, 4.5 out of 5 might seem low, but you know, this episode is worth watching. This show again proves that it's worth watching. I I can't say I've rated every episode so far very highly. Morality paradox. I didn't rate very highly, but I still found things that I liked about it. Thank you, Phil. Thank you. I'll be going to bed in a little bit after I join Nerdfoil for his spoiler-filled review of this episode, which I'm sure those of you who are here right now are already headed over there. If not, let me go ahead and put his YouTube link in there, and I will see you over there shortly. Yes, this is a very solid episode, and I hope you all enjoyed it as much as I did. If you didn't, that's fine. That's fine. We can disagree. We can disagree because we're not going to like everything. We're going to all look at it differently. And, we're all going to see something that maybe someone else doesn't see. That's fine. So, and the review portion, I really appreciate it. Have yourselves a great night if I don't see you over on Nerdportal Lifeforms channel. And until then, this has been Mike for Pacific Forum 4 episode review. Thank you all for watching. If you like this or any other video on the channel, please share it with your friends and consider subscribing to this channel because I'm not just a baseball guy, I'm an all around guy. Have a good night and early morning, everyone. Take care.